All right, I'll call to order the Board of Health meeting of Wednesday, August 10th, 2022 at 6 p.m. First on the agenda this evening, we have two sets of minutes for approval. The first set of minutes is from June 1st of 2022. The members present for that were myself and Dave Escobar, with Dave Escobar being present this evening. We will table those until our September meeting. The next set of minutes are from our last meeting in which both Dina and I were present. That was for our July 13th of 2022 meeting. Did you have an opportunity to review those minutes?
Yes.
Any questions?
These look fine.
Yeah, they look good. Just to peruse. Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the July 13th, 2022 minutes as written.
I'll make the motion as stated.
And I'll second it. Any discussion?
No.
Nope. With there being none, then I will call for the vote.
Dina Costa, member, yes.
Carrie Singer, chair, yes. Minutes approved. All right, so that's approved. Next on our agenda, we have one local upgrade approval for 8-Page Lane. This is a reduction in setback between the SAS and abutters wells.
Shane, can you just hand me the plan? Please. Thank you.
Okay, and I believe we have the engineer on Zoom.
Yes.
Yes, hello. My name is Jude Dobbin from OHI Engineering.
Hi, how are you?
I'm getting better. I was in the hospital this morning with heat stroke.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but so I'm here representing Fred Hughes from 8-Page Lane, and I believe you guys have the plans in front of you.
We do.
Mr. Hughes has sold his house, and he did a Title V inspection, and it was a failing system. Okay. And we're doing an upgrade generally in the same area. The existing system is kind of faded back because I put the new system over the old system. What we did was the difference between the new system and the old system is about 3 times bigger in footprint, in square footage wise, than the existing system that's there now. And there's an undersized 1,000-gallon tank that's there, and we're upgrading it to a 1,500-gallon tank. And based on the groundwater modeling that we went out and did the soil testing, the existing system's about 2 feet or so to the groundwater. And the proposed system that we're doing, like I said, it's about 3 times larger, and we've bumped it up to 4 feet above the groundwater offset, and we put in the 1,500-gallon tank. The issue is there's existing abutters wells on one's across the street and one's next to the house, the neighbor, and we have our existing well, so we couldn't move it into the backyard because the existing plumbing comes out the side. So there was, some give and take, but we haven't moved the new system any closer to either one of the wells. We've actually maintained the corner of the system from each of the wells, so the distance to the existing wells has not increased at all, and we provided better level of treatment in the neighborhood of 3 times it's better, and it's got the proper groundwater offset. So we're here tonight to ask for the local upgrade approval to be within, I believe it's 86 feet and maybe a little bit over 70 feet from the 2 existing wells that are there.
Yeah, it looks like 71.85
And 84.26.
and 84.26 from 6-Page Lane. So, and then 71.85 from 7-Page Lane.
Yeah,
Okay.
You got it. I had 80 and 70 in my head.
And I believe we do have one of the abutters.
I only have one question. It's like
Okay, could you just state your name for us and your address, just so that,
Walter Remoulade, 6-Page Lane.
okay, your 6-Page Lane. Can we just have you come up to the microphone there, just so that we can, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, the only question I have is this gonna cause a problem if I ever go to sell my property? I mean, because they're saying it's not within specs or something.
So I would say generally, no. So Title V does say 100 feet setback, but it does
Yeah.
give that buffer room between 50 to 100 to allow that local upgrade approval. You can actually still pass a Title V inspection if you're less than 100, but further than 50, so it shouldn't cause a problem.
Yeah, well, like
and-
my septic is in the back of the house, so, I mean, nobody's well is near there. My question is it gonna be a problem if I ever sold my house with the septic being,
It shouldn't.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how many are, and as long as you have that distance of greater than 50,
Yeah.
what we recommend anybody who's buying a home on a well, if they call me, I recommend that they have the water tested as well as like a Title V inspection done as required
yeah,
by
is that
Title V.
possible
But
to have water tested?
So, we can recommend water testing currently. I mean, I guess my other question is when you were replacing the system, was there any barrier in place with the previous system that you know of during the, when you were repairing? I guess that's my
like
question.
between the system and I don't believe there was an impervious barrier or anything at the existing system.
That technology did not exist when that system was put in.
Okay.
That system was put in a long time ago, in the neighborhood of 25 years or so.
Okay.
And they didn't have the approval for barriers for septic systems. So what I would say to the abutter at 6 Page Lane is it's an existing condition that we're not increasing any area, or we're not proposing a septic system closer to as well. And
Sure.
Title V does allow between 50 and 100 feet to an existing well for an existing system. So his Title V wouldn't necessarily fail just because our system's 86 feet or 83 feet
Correct.
away from his system that's there now.
Yeah.
Or his well, I'm sorry.
Right, so there was no change in the current location of the system. So basically, the system has always been there and has always been that close to your
Right,
well.
and we've been there 21 years.
Okay,
so.
yeah.
All right, that's all
Okay.
that's the only question I had.
Okay, great.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. So I guess with that being said, since there is the ability now for us to have an impervious barrier placed, or 40 mil barrier, I don't see that on the plan. Is that a possibility to add to the system as an extra level of, just gonna throw it out there?
I mean, I would defer to you, Jude. I would say a lot of times the impervious barriers are to help with any breakout. But if the concern is about it getting into the groundwater, I mean, the water's still moving down and then
Right.
potentially flowing. So, I mean, but Jude, I don't know if you have any other thoughts about that use.
In my experience, the water is moving vertically down through the soil. It's not moving laterally towards the well itself.
Okay.
And like, I can't see her, but I think it's right. You just said that
Okay.
it doesn't prevent the water from breaking out towards as well. It's moving down in the vertical column
Okay.
through the soil.
All right. What do you think?
I was gonna ask the same.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't see it on there, so.
I mean, if anything, it seems like it's been existing in
Right.
this location, and if anything, it's a better system.
It's an improvement.
Right, it is, that's what I
rather
was
have, like,
thinking, yeah.
A system further from groundwater, a little bit further
It's a
from the
far
wells,
superior.
and not
Yeah.
in failure.
Okay.
Correct.
And the reason they couldn't put it here was because of plumbing
Mm-hmm.
issues? Okay. Yeah, because they've got garage here.
Yeah,
This
you
is the
can't push
property
it there.
line.
And even if you pushed it here, now you're close to all the plumbing where the well is here, and now you're going into the properties back here. So I think, I mean,
Best case scenario.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I mean, and it's a local upgrade, but I've seen it closer to wells before. So, I mean, the numbers are still a distance away. All right, any other questions? No? Okay.
Is it written on here?
Yep, right there. All right, and just like we would with any local upgrade approvals that, that have to do with wells, we always add into our vote to recommend water testing, but we don't require it. So we always throw that in there just in the event that there's, we recommend it, but it's not required. Okay.
And actually, it won't apply to him.
Nope.
So just for the abutters, okay.
Yep. Okay. Alrighty. All right, so I will entertain a motion to approve a local upgrade approval for 8 Page Lane with plans drawn up by, is it just Fred Hughes? By OHI Engineering. For 2 local upgrade approvals for a reduction in setback between the SAS and the abutters well from the required 100 feet down to 71.85 from 7 Page Lane, and from the required 100 feet down to 84.26 feet from 6 Page Lane. And we would recommend that water testing be done at the owner's discretion.
I make the motion as stated.
I'll second it. Any additional discussion?
No.
Nope. With there being none, I'll call for the vote.
Dina Costa, member, yes.
Carrie Singer, chair, yes. Approved. All set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next on our agenda, we have body art regulations. This was continued from our last meeting in July, where we reviewed many of the final statements made to the regulations. I believe that the regulations were forwarded to the owners or the owner of Victorian Inc. for review. And did we receive any feedback from them at all?
Yes, I was gonna pull up the email. They pretty much said it looks like the revisions is everything. The proposal, so that revisions looks to be what was discussed at the previous meetings, should be a go, was their
Okay,
comment.
perfect, awesome. So I know that there was a possibility that, does he need to stay on?
Oh, no, Jude, you're all set. Oh,
Okay, there you
perfect.
go. Just want to make sure. I didn't want him to hear if he didn't want to. So I know that you had made a comment that there was a possibility they may come this evening to review. So, but we have heard from them, which
Yep.
makes me comfortable in reviewing these in the event that they don't come. So we'll just take a couple of minutes to review, and if you have any questions as you review, feel free to shout them out to.
So it was very few additions that I did the last time. Oh,
Here they are. Perfect timing.
Clients in there trying to get out,
So it's just on page 15. I deleted the section of listing everything that had to
Yep.
be under the permanent cosmetics and just added a line about other training courses must be reviewed and approved by the Oxford Board of Health.
Okay.
And then on page 18, just adding a little, just verbiage, and then the permit fee for the guest practitioner, also allowing that it can be changed.
Okay.
I think those were the
And those
main changes
changes,
from the last one.
the last one, so the changes are in
Green.
Green, okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep my color straight.
Yeah.
That's all.
That looks nice.
Yeah, I think it's really,
I think the wording is better.
yeah, I think so too. I've read this so many times that I'm like blurring.
So guest practitioner is 25, but we didn't do anything to practitioners changing that. fee?
That wasn't changed.
The
Okay.
fees?
Yeah.
That was already changed with the updated fee schedule.
Oh, that's right, we did the fee schedule,
Yeah.
okay.
The only thing here is that rather than every other year, the practitioner permit needs to be renewed yearly. That was and that's on page 13, that was a original change.
Last section, which was the variance that they could.
Yep.
So did you guys have an opportunity to review this?
We did.
Okay. So any questions, comments, changes? Was this pretty much everything that we've discussed and worked together for the last how many months?
Yeah, just reworded it.
Okay. Are you, so last meeting, you guys weren't able to attend, but we talked about the guest permitting fee, which of the $25. Do you find that reasonable? Okay, perfect. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Just one thing, I noticed, you want 10 days notice for somebody that's coming in temporarily? I think that's what I saw on there,
Yeah, that's
I
not
think-
which is fine, I don't think that's an issue, do you?
And like I said, worst comes to worst, I can call them and be like, hey, listen, this is
Yeah.
what's going on.
And, we'll do the best that we can to make it work, you just have to give us a call, like,
It's not something, this is
Yeah.
not something that's happening all the time.
Right.
I mean, we've been here 7 years and we haven't done it yet.
Right.
But there's a lot of talk about it, and right now, people
Mm-hmm.
are doing guest spots. They're not staying in shops, they're running around.
right,
So.
right, agreed.
This is something that we're looking for a few.
Okay. The only, and it's very minor, I swear, it's minor.
That's okay.
Page 15, where we talked about number 6. It has A, B, and then in tiny letters it says or A, and it's highlighted in red. Can we somehow make that a little more, like, maybe put it in all capitals or like
bold and-
italic?
yep, to,
Yeah,
like,
like it's
emphasize.
kind of hard to, you really have to read it because it's A or B. And I just want to make sure that it spells
I mean,
that.
and that's fine, just the top, it does also say one of the following.
So maybe we
but
can even
bold
highlight,
that one too.
bold that and maybe underline it, or just,
Yep.
just so it.
Sticks out.
Yeah, just because it is such a lengthy regulation that, because people will honestly start to peruse it faster as they get to the, to that page. So I just want to make sure that it's clear.
Yep.
That that's what we're talking about. And then I know one of the things that we really had a lot of conversation about was on the last page 20 around variance, and you were okay with the wording on that variance piece, that if there was something specific that you could come in front of the board, and you're okay with that. All right.
Like I said, it's more of a procedure thing where we're at least decent with you guys enough that we
Yeah.
know we can pick up the phone and be like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Can we put this through, or can you make a few phone calls, have a group chat? I don't know, can we just decide on this real quick so we can figure it out? But that's
Yeah.
fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it may be like alternative documentation or another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And I think we know, and in having a conversation with you, you've taught us an awful lot about what you guys do, and what is involved in it. And I think, without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to come up with the regulations that we've come up with. And we know that it's going to continue to evolve over time. And so if something does change from your end, it's okay for you to say, hey, I want to come educate you on something new that maybe we need to tweak and change in the regulations. It's all about working together, because this is your world, not ours. So, I want to make sure that we make it fair, but also keep, all of the customers that are coming to our town safe at the same time.
And body art is still fairly new,
Yeah.
as you know, and it's rapidly changing. I know within discussion with my colleagues, it's a growing field, so.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were told or not yet, but I just wanted to get it out there too, because there was a question about the inks and stuff like that being FDA approved and stuff. I'm not sure what you looked up, but I do have documentation that all our inks are highly, highly regulated, and they are FDA approved.
Okay.
Just so you know, we don't use anything that's not.
That's why I didn't put that on the paper.
Right.
Okay.
Because it is something, whether a lot of the paperwork you came to me with is older stuff.
Okay.
It's stuff that's actually quite old. Even some of the regulations that are on there about taking care of the aftercare of the tattoo and that type of stuff, it's stuff that we recommend you don't use.
Okay.
'Cause it
But
destroys
you've
the-
updated your aftercare
Yes.
compared to that, okay.
So is that part of the inspection meaning?
Yeah, that was part of the
Yeah,
stuff that she
the,
came through.
Oh, right, because you did tell me that you did
She
an
had brought
inspection.
me she had brought me a bunch of stuff, and I'm looking at it going, okay, well, this isn't our paperwork, this isn't our paperwork, this is just gonna end up being too long of a situation.
Yep.
Where I nothing against it, a lot of the clients don't even read paperwork. and it's
Agreed.
horrible.
Yeah.
Most people don't, I don't think we do, you're right.
I think it was
You're
the
right.
disclosure statement, that was the
Right,
biggest
that
piece
was
that
taken care
had
of
to be
afterwards,
added,
yeah.
yep.
Besides that, I mean, it was more of a, with our aftercare that we go over, I'm friends with a lot of artists from a lot of different areas, and we go over things with each other. We have group, like a forum and things like that, where people are like, hey, listen, we're having an issue with this, anybody else having that issue? And we kind of change our regulations on what we do,
Yep.
or what we represent, or push out to people, by going over that and stuff. But besides that, like some of the stuff she was finding, a lot of stuff on the internet is really old.
Right.
And it's really hard to go by.
It's
That's
coming
the
from
issue.
DPH, so it's good to know, because I'll reach
Yeah.
out to them.
Yeah, because a lot of that stuff, like I said, there's a comment about using a neosporin type ointment
On
there.
on
And
their aftercare.
we highly
instructions.
recommend you don't touch neosporin, because neosporin is anti-scar, has a zinc oxide in it, which would draw the tattoo out. So we highly recommend you don't use it. And it was one of the things on there saying, use this here, blah, blah. I'm like, no, we're not using this. I threw it to the side. I'm like, we're not doing this, not happening. So,
Okay.
this stuff, I mean, you can look up some of the tattoo forums and things like that. There's a lot of discussions on there. And there's a problem with a lot of young artists coming out that don't know what they're doing. And a lot of people are tattooing from home. And so that's why we have these things right now. I don't think we'll have a problem. I don't think you'll have any, not to be conceited, but I don't think you'll have any other artists coming to town unless they're coming to my shop. We hold a very large reputation. We're actually fighting right now, and I say fighting because it's a very close friend of mine who's getting also nominated for it, but we were nominated Best in Central Mass again this year. And we made top 5. So we're actually
Good for you guys.
They're
arguing.
voting right now for the
They're doing the
top
voting
three.
right now for the top 3, yeah.
but-
And one of the shops is one of my best friends. He's also very highly recommended in the area. He's part of the Piercing Association and everything else.
There it was.
So for us, people that come into this town, they would know that they're not going to be able to compete with our shop. So they kind of stay clear a little bit. Same thing with his, like everybody that was in his vicinity of Worcester has now moved because they can't keep up with him. So I mean, unless an artist coming to our shop where I'm going to recommend them and be like, hey, listen, this is the deal, I don't think they'll be coming into town, so.
All right, sounds good. So you'll kind of reach out to DPH on your end in terms of,
Yeah, to update their aftercare
yeah,
instructions.
just to,
What-
I mean,
what-
just tell
what
me, you
you
can
put-
reach out, you
what
can reach out to different tattoo shops also.
But what you put together was fine, like I
Yes.
had no issue with
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. It was that disclosure piece
Right.
that the regulations require that was missing, yeah.
Any other questions?
I know, you know what, I see what you're saying here on B, and I think, maybe if we put the or on its own line, and then did B in the information,
oh, we could do that.
just space it out a little,
Yeah, yeah, we could do that. Just a little formatting.
a little more powerful.
No wording change. I swear, it's the same word, just a little formatting.
If it adds another page though, don't do it.
Yeah, if it adds another page,
won't, it
let's
won't.
not do that. Okay, all right.
Thank you,
Any
guys.
other last questions, comments? All right, so I will entertain a motion to approve our body art regulations as written
With those formatting changes.
with the formatting change on page 15 of the number 6. 1 will be underlined and bolded, and then the or on 6B will either have its own line or accentuated. Okay, or both.
I make the motion as stated.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
No.
Nope, but there being none, I'll call for the vote.
Dina Costa, member, yes.
Carrie Singer, chair, yes. Approved. Thank you both very, very
We'll be
much.
coming to see you soon anyways. I have an apprentice next door who's going to be coming in to get licensed as an apprentice.
Awesome.
He's already been apprenticing with me before, and then he left for a little while for personal issues, and I brought him back and said, all right, girl, if you're going to do this, we're going to do this. So,
Putting pressure on me, I gotta get those,
Yeah.
the application updated.
and again, so I mean, I just let you know, otherwise I can get him licensed again as a regular artist.
Yep.
And then just do the apprenticeship that way, because again, I still have all the guidelines I follow anyways, but
Sure.
Great.
I wanted to let you know we'll be coming in with that, because he
Sounds
didn't
good.
finish all his courses and stuff, so
Okay.
he's full-fledged sitting there.
Wait.
Twiddling his thumbs right now while he sits in the shop going, I can't touch anything, but I can sit and watch, you know,
Yeah.
so, but that's it, but you know, we'll go with that soon.
All right,
All
great. Thank you both very much. And like I said, feel free if there's anything that changes in your world, to reach out to us. And we'll be more than happy to work with you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. All right. Regulations approved. All right.
It's a good feeling.
It is a good feeling. We worked hard on
I know,
those.
get ready for the next one.
Rika thought that we would do them like in a month.
2 Take a break.
All right, so director's report is next. So we've got things such as COVID-19, shared services grant, office updates. What you got for us?
Yep, so COVID numbers are still slowly rising a little bit. We're seeing those go up. Hopefully they won't spike too much. We're still getting the wastewater reports. I'm sending those to you as well. The most recent ones I get at the end of the week. And I would say other than that, not too many big changes. We did, I don't know if I'd mentioned, we did have Clara Barton Camp had to close because of COVID. There was a
Oh, that
concern.
idea.
So,
Okay.
so camps are also being affected.
So where's their number high? Like, is that?
They were starting to get a number of cases, and there was concerns about not having proper staffing, and because it's a high-risk population, they just wanted to be safe.
Okay.
And just take that extra precaution.
Okay.
So right now it's quiet with schools because we're still in summer break,
Yep.
so I'm sure that'll gear up.
Have you heard anything that's changing in terms of when the students do go back to school? Because our next meeting will be after school would have already started. So
No, I think DESE was going to be releasing, potentially looking to update their guidance. It doesn't sound like they're really going to be doing anything. One item that might change is that I think they were saying they might not have to report numbers to boards of health anymore. So they're definitely becoming a lot more relaxed in the schools around COVID, quarantining, and reporting. And then the shared services grant. So we gave an offer to the shared service public health nurse that also helps with contact tracing. She'll be starting on the 22nd of August. We are finishing up interviews for the community health coordinator. We've had some really great candidates.
Oh,
so I'm
good.
very excited for this role. The goal is not only to do the community assessment, but also to have this person be in some ways like a social worker, like a resource in the community. All of us communities have a fair number of hoarding cases that we deal with, so having a point person that can help connect, to come in not as that enforcement body, but as a resource to connect them to additional resources and help. So I'm hopeful that a lot of good will come from that. And then just, as you can see, we Movies on Main, we've been giving out bags because we still have test kits. And we got in some hand sanitizers and mini first aid kits, so that's been good. That's been a big success. And then lastly, I don't know what it is about our board meetings, because this happened at our last one, but I got an email today about West Nile virus mosquito samples. So there were some positive samples in Carver, Stoneham, Worcester, and Millbury. Luckily, it has been, the benefits of the drought are less mosquitoes.
Correct, yeah.
But we are now starting to see some West Nile. Knock on wood, no triple E yet, but still
Okay.
to take the proper precautions when going outside and protect against mosquitoes. And I think those are the main updates. Meiji, they finished up their HACCP plan. I just reviewed it, so we'll make it formal. I don't know if they had done it in the past, but technically they have to get a variance approval from the Board of Health. I have a nice letter they submitted, so I'll put that on the agenda for next month to have it formally approved.
Great. Great. Questions?
For the shared services coordinator, I know they'll probably do like a needs assessment, but besides hoarding, what other things do you think they'll help with?
So I think the goal is to look at the community needs assessment to see what there is. I know that Brimfield today brought up the fact that access to healthcare for their residents is a big one. I know Southbridge has brought up asthma concerns. I know that opioids is still a big concern, and there's those big settlements that Massachusetts has made, so I'm assuming, it sounds like Oxford will be getting some funds, so I'm sure there'll be a renewed focus on that, and I'm sure they'll be looking into that as well. If there's anything particular that you think the community could use, you two are residents here, you've been here longer than I have, so if you have any thoughts about something that I should have them look into.
I think we
let me know.
talked
About
the
it, yeah.
last time. Do you remember we had?
Oh, we had somebody come on Zoom. Is that what you're
We
referring
did.
to?
I remember that. But remember, Amy was here, Amy Gurnett, and Kathleen, and we talked a lot about what the schools might need, and we talked about tobacco. And so there were those little pieces too, and I think it may be worth just kind of revisiting
Connecting
with
with
the
them.
school, because they had some really great ideas
Okay,
too.
yeah, that's good. Some prevention outreach or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And actually, Amy Granette has accepted the per diem public health nurse position.
Awesome, good.
So that'll be a good with the schools too, because she'll
Perfect.
know. So she'll
Good.
be working
That's
with
awesome.
our shared services staff.
Good, awesome. All right, perfect. What other questions do you have?
None?
None at
Okay.
this time? Okay.
Perfect. So we have a couple permits, I think.
Okay.
Not as thick as the last one.
Oh, good.
Can't be.
Do we have, I know that there were additional regulations that you kind of had on your docket for being able to have the board review and update. Do you have one that you're thinking will be next in line so that we can prepare?
Yes,
Mentally?
Mentally prepare and physically prepare?
And we'll have to see if I can make it onto the September one or not. It would be the biological
Oh,
safety
yes.
regulations. I know the town planner,
Yep.
that is a priority in the sense of it'd be helpful to have those regulations.
Yep.
And you had some model regs in a
Yeah.
couple towns, I
Yeah.
remember. Okay.
It's funny, a colleague in Natick actually reached out recently to a group of us because they're looking to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll follow up to see what they ended up putting in place too.
I'd be interested, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rika, did you send us, at that time when we talked about it, did you send us those model?
Yes, I
regs?
can send
Okay.
them again.
Well, that's okay. I can just do a search in my email.
Because I think I saw, because you sent ones from Cambridge, but my sister-in-law, who also had sent me the ones from Cambridge too.
Okay.
So I know that was a big one because there's the different tiers, correct? And I know Cambridge is it has one of your higher tiers.
That they allow. A lot of them don't allow that highest.
So they may, I can't remember. My sister-in-law was trying to explain it to me. It was very complex. She
Need an
lost me
expert.
when you know when someone gets so passionate about something? Yeah.
Did you see they were on the news? They did the Heimlich on somebody who choked in their restaurant?
Oh, I did see that. Yes, actually.
Is this something different?
This one's food service. Where's the first one say?
Food service.
Oh, is it just a duplicate?
Just a duplicate.
Looks like half baked and fully roasted has a duplicate on the back. We just signed one. They only need one,
Yeah.
correct?
It's the same.
Okay, just when you're sending it out, you see it and you're like, how come they didn't sign it? Because we don't. Is Carbuncle still? What's going on with Carbuncle Pond?
So
I know that there was some.
there was treatment. It
Yep.
was treated as preventative. There was
Okay.
no bloom as of yet. Numbers
Okay.
were starting to get high.
I get concerned
so
with the humidity and stuff.
It's
Yeah.
the heat. It's been so hot. And then we did, when the concern first started, we did have some heavy rain briefly, and then the heat. So that's a big driver
Okay.
too for it.
All right.
So there was no bloom. It was just concern that there might be.
Okay.
So there's going to be a football jamboree August 20th. So a
okay.
lot of these are mobile. There are a couple mobile
Okay.
foods in there that will be at that event.
Football jamboree, huh?
Yeah, in the past, the surrounding towns have hosted, but this is a big deal for Oxford to host.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, I'll be there doing inspections.
I'll be there.
I haven't seen
Cheering
anything
on.
posted about it. Then again, I kind of, since my kids left the school system,
Yeah.
I've been.
It might be a closed, like, board for parents. Maybe that's why.
Is it?
And then with both of you being nurses, this came in the mail. I didn't know if it was something you're interested in. You can get continuing education, so I just wanted to share it.
Oh, it's in November, right?
Yep.
Oh, so it's a 3-day, first, second, third, is that 4 days?
Good question. I wonder if
Because
like
it says the
first-
program will be delivered online daily from 9:30 to 4.
There you go.
I have to renew this year.
Oh, you didn't renew yet?
September is my birthday.
Oh. I thought they do this, but there's no price on it. It's the part that always.
$700.
They always do that. They send it out and it looks so great, and then you
Right.
register and they tell you how much it is, and then you slightly. Interesting. They have. Is that the same Chan from
I wonder.
for UMass too? Interesting. All right.
That's it.
Anything else?
No.
Anything else, Dina?
No.
This has been our fastest
Oh,
meeting.
I will add next
yeah.
meeting, still
Mhm.
good for Tuesday, September 13th at 6 p.m.
I think I put it in my calendar already.
I'm pretty sure I had moved that.
And then hopefully
Yep.
Dave will be able to be at our next meeting so we can have a discussion, because this, I was hoping the first Wednesday would work, but it hasn't been. I just think we should have a discussion if we want to continue just shooting for the first Wednesday, but having flexibility, because October 1 is town meeting the first Wednesday, so we would have to move that one as well. Do we try the second Wednesday, or do we go back to just doing Mondays? So that's something we can discuss potentially at the next meeting, and
So
hopefully
are
with Dave.
town meetings usually always like the first Wednesday, or does it vary?
It's usually on a Wednesday. I'm trying to think when the November one was. I mean the spring one.
Because I know Wednesdays work better for you guys because it's a longer day for you guys. So I understand why we moved it to Wednesdays. I'm just trying to think if there is there consistency with town meetings, or are they whenever we have available space?
That's like, I can look into that. It would
Can you
be-
look into
yep.
that and see, because then maybe we can keep it on Wednesdays, but maybe readjust which one. I'm fine with flexibility. I think you're the one with your schedule that sometimes it's difficult based on
Well,
your.
I can get any night that we need. We do our schedule 3 months in advance.
just would take-
So,
yeah.
like,
Right.
right now, we're finalizing up to December.
So, do we want to wait till the next meeting to reschedule the October one, or do we want to look right now? I don't know if you already have your
So,
calendar for October,
The first one is first Wednesday is October 5th.
and that is town meeting.
That's
town
town
meeting,
meeting.
so the following is the 12th.
Yeah, what are you looking like there?
Just see. That should be fine.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, so let's move it to the 12th, since
Okay.
I'm available and you're available. So we'll move that to the 12th. And then in the meantime,
I'll look
see
into
if
the
you can
town
gather some info to see if there's some consistency with town meeting, if
Yep.
it's the first or the second, and then we'll kind of go from there. Does that work?
Yep, definitely.
So when is next one's?
The 13th, Tuesday, September
Tuesday,
13th
yeah.
at 6
not
p.m.
Wednesday.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
so the spring one is first, so maybe it's the first Wednesday,
a
so
lot of
maybe
times.
shifting it after your next scheduled
January,
period, and
okay.
then go maybe to like the second
Second Wednesday.
Wednesday to make it, but we can, we'll find out
Yeah,
and
we'll
see.
talk
That
to
might be
Dave,
a little bit
too. Yep.
easier, yeah. All right, let me just change that October before I forget, because I will forget. So that's gonna be the 12th. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, so we've got a plan for that. Anything else?
I think that's actually it.
It is?
I think so.
I know. All right, sounds good. Yes?
Sounds good, yes.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting at 6:42 PM.
I make the motion as stated.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
No.
Nope, but there being none, call for the vote.
Dina Costa, member, yes.
Carrie Singer, chair, yes. Meeting adjourned.